What is happening? Man, it's been a wild one. It's Wednesday here in Tokyo, and so much going on just in my spiritual odyssey that I've been on. And I've been calling it this period of my life Tokyo monk mode. But this week it hit me to change the name. This is my Phoenix era. Phoenix mentality, Tokyo Phoenix. Because it quite literally feels like I'm being reborn from the ashes. And it's my birthday in a couple of months, and planning to do like a spiritual pilgrimage to this mountain up in northern Honshu, which is the central island in Japan. Um, to do just like this this hike and maybe sleep at like a monastery, and just something to really signify this transformation, and to put like a, this happened on it, so it doesn't just kind of fade into the next season without really feeling like I accomplished something here and now. So that's fun. And I just can't believe I'm in Japan and get to think about things like that. Like, where am I going to go on a spiritual odyssey? Well, I'm in the country for it. But, anyways, crazy stuff been going on just within me. I was listening to one of my favorite speakers and authors and just philosophers, Alain de Botton, and he talks a lot about childhood, and that we can't just move past it without confronting it. We can't understand who we truly are, where we come from, why we are the way we are without going back into our childhood, as maybe uncomfortable or unnecessary as it might seem. We can't move on until we explore it like a detective. And then we can finally make peace with where we've been, so we can move forth into the next stage of our life and become that new person. I think confronting our childhood, confronting our past is like the burning of the phoenix. It's the fire. But unless you go there and confront it, it's kind of this limbo state of pushing forward. And then you settle what was there, you understand it better, and that's when you can become reborn, emerge from the ashes, and be something new. Having explored in as much as you possibly can what happened, where you came from, and why you are the way you are. Because that's what I'm going through right now. It is There's just so much that I did not understand about my childhood and how I've gotten to this point. And I'm realizing this Phoenix era, Tokyo Phoenix mode, is me taking a moment to process where I've been in life instead of just pushing forward, pushing forward, pushing forward. I feel lucky to be able to do this, but I think we could all do it in some capacity. It's a cop out to say I don't have time to do it or I can't. But to take a step out from life, to take a step back, to step away from our routine of just moving forward on this hamster wheel, to process where we've been and where and how we've gotten to where we are now. And this hit me. I mean, I've been on doing the spiritual odyssey for about a month and a half, but Alain Baton was talking about this. He was saying how just in our daily life, maybe at the end of our day, we need to process the day. Go back through the day and ask yourself, all right, what were like 5 moments that made me stop and think a little deeper? What was something that happened today that really just caught my attention and made me feel awe or wonder or sadness or anger. Like, why did I feel these things today instead of just moving forward and just pushing more and more into this system that is the body and the mind and the soul instead of processing it? And I saw that as the microcosm of this whole process that I'm in right now. The end of the day is your chance to go back and reflect on what you did that day and why you felt the way you felt. And what I'm doing now is my chance to go back on the first 28 years of my life and really explore it. And I'm finally beginning to process the first chapter of my life, hopefully the first quarter of my life, get to that 100 mark, baby. And it feels incredible. Like now, before, if you don't know my story, which don't expect you to, I've been dealing with chronic pain for the last 6 years. And until 2 months ago, when I hit rock bottom, I saw it as a physical symptom. I saw it something wrong with my body that I needed to fix physically. But then by some mystical sequence of events that truly make me believe that everything has happened by fate and exactly as it's meant to, I was led to see that this is really a mind-body symptom. And my chronic back pain, has been caused by these repressed emotions stored inside of me since childhood. And it's not just me coming up with this. This is called TMS, mind-body syndrome. And it's very real. The brain creates real pain in the body to distract us from emotions that we've repressed in our life. And it believes that if these emotions were to come to the surface, it would be too painful. We destroy our lives, basically. The brain is making this assumption. And I hit rock bottom, and I finally was led to the work of Dr. John Sarno, who kind of made famous the mind-body syndrome, even though it's still very kind of it's just still not appreciated in the medical industry, because we assume if it's a physical problem, then there's a physical solution. But after 6 years of trying to heal physically, I realized it's just not a physical thing. And there's so much in my life that I have to work through to heal my body, which is a manifestation of healing my soul and my heart. And so I embarked on this journey, which I've called the Spiritual Odyssey. And it took me, it's been about a month and a half. Yeah. And Alain de Botton saying that, it's a great name, by the way, for a philosopher, Alain de Botton. Him saying that about the processing made me realize, wow, without putting it in those words, that's exactly what this is. It's me taking a step back from life. And that wasn't something I explicitly chose. The universe gave me so much pain all at once that I had to stop what I was doing and say, what the hell is going on truly with my body, my entire being? And when I did that, that's when I realized this has to do with my soul and healing my emotions rather than anything physical. There's nothing physically wrong with my body. And so when I heard him say that, just talking about the processing, I'm like, wow, that's exactly what this is. Taking a pause from life to process what has brought me here. And I had never done that before, not to this extent. I'm making some sacrifices to do it. Like, I'm not really socializing as much. I'm not drinking. I'm off social media, and I'm kind of just in Tokyo, just doing my thing and working on myself right now. And it's been the greatest transformation I've ever experienced, and the beginning of the rest of my life. And when he was talking about processing the day, I started thinking about some things in my life that just happened during the day. And I thought about, on Monday, I did a big leg workout in the gym. And it was the first time I've done a leg workout in years since being in this chronic pain. Part of healing a mind-body syndrome is getting back to all physical exercise and just living as if there's nothing wrong with you, because there's physically nothing wrong with you. It's your brain creating these sensations in your body to make you believe there's something wrong with you. So I'm in the process. The spiritual odyssey is a process of rewiring my brain and retraining it from all the conditioning that has built up for the last 6 years and really my entire life. So I have to get back to all physical exercise and living as if I'm not somebody with a bad back, because I'm not. And it's not just back pain. It's so many different things that kind of anything that can't be really explained. And, you go to the doctor, they don't know what's really wrong with you. They prescribe painkillers or stretching or physical therapy just to kind of manage it. But you're like, what is this? Like, how can I actually solve what's going on here? Anything that's just like mysterious and there's no real answers, or you've been in it for an unreasonable amount of time, there's a very good chance that that is a mind-body situation. And it starts with knowledge, just learning about this stuff. So Dr. John Sarno has 3 books on this: The Mind-Body Prescription, Healing Back Pain, and The Divided Mind. And now that I have a real understanding of TMS, and another great book was The Great Pain Deception by Stephen Ray Ozanich. That was much more of a human story of how he healed his pain, and he was in deep with so much stuff. Back pain and just tinnitus in the ears. This stuff is all chronic headaches and face pain and tendinitis, like stuff that just keeps popping up in random parts of your body. It's not random. It's emotional distress, chronic pain inside. And once you start solving it, once you understand what it is, it all lifts, which is wild. And I, as a disclaimer, that's the right word, feel better than I've felt in years. I've trained like this in the past. Like, I have gone back to just normal training, just to hoping that things would get better, but not with the knowledge that there's nothing physically wrong with my body. And it's that coupling of banishing the fear and just getting back to my life with the knowledge that I'm fine. That is what is healing me right now. I ran 5 miles this morning, which I don't think I've done in like a decade. I love to run, and I'm lifting again. And what I was saying is, so I finished a leg day on Monday, and so just slowly but surely getting back to, I mean, not that slowly. I'm kind of just going for it, because I don't really care anymore. This is how you beat it. But hit a leg day. It's been a while, and it felt great. Played basketball over the weekend, just my favorite sport, and that's been taken away from me. So slowly getting back into that, playing once a week. But played pickup over the weekend. Had the leg day Monday, and I was walking home wearing my Lakers shirt, LA Lakers, and it's pouring rain here in Tokyo. And I didn't have an umbrella, which is usually the case. And I'm like, oh man, do I buy an umbrella? It's like 20 minutes home. I'm just like, fuck it. Like, it's summer. Just walk home in the rain. And the story has a greater meaning, so bear with me. And I'm walking home, and it was such a monumental moment of, if you're in back pain, hitting a big leg day is a scary thing. I'm just doing squats and Bulgarian squats and lunges, and I just faced it, and I just left the worry of, am I going to hurt my back? And I just trained as if things are normal, because they are. I'm walking home feeling great, and just feeling the rain just beating down on me. People are looking at me. Some people are smiling because I'm just getting soaked. And I just like, this is a surreal experience. This is an important moment of just feeling life, the rain falling down on me, and just punctuating this moment in time, this moment that I'm in, of feeling life, not being afraid of it, not being afraid of feeling the rain, and walking home and dancing a little bit and enjoying it, because it's not going to hurt me, you know? And something that's been very important, and what this kind of gets to, is just slowing down. That's what this whole season is. It's taking a pause to look around and embrace and accept and process what is actually happening in life and within us. We're addicted to these impulses and sensations in the outer world that are so ingrained in us and part of our routine, and just there's so much noise in the world that we lose awareness for what is going on inside of us. And right now it feels so good to just take a pause, to be off social media, and to just be like reading and doing the things I enjoy, getting out of pain, working out again and feeling good, and just like not rushing the process of healing, but just slowing down. And I'm learning, so kind of now with this understanding of TMS and mind-body syndrome, moving into a more spiritual path to not just get out of this pain, but to elevate my entire experience of being alive and who I am as a human being. And doing that primarily through the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, and his book Becoming Supernatural is incredible, and doing his meditations from that book. And it's all about, well, first of all, unlocking your chakras, your energy wheels, energy centers inside of us. There's 7. And when we're in pain, when we're frustrated, when we've had trauma, when we feel guilt, shame, all of our energy is stored in our bottom 3 chakras, like in our gut, in our root, like in our private area, down in the loins there, and then like behind the navel, the first 3 energy centers. Then it goes up to the heart center, your throat, back of the head, and center of your head, and then you have one coming out of the top of your head, which is Ka, as the Egyptians called it, and that's like the connection to the cosmos. And I have so much energy stored in my first 3 centers that have just been locked up there since I was a kid, of just repressing emotion, repressing feelings, and not sharing and not expressing myself. In these meditations I'm doing every day, I'm working to release that energy, to move through me and into my heart center, and up through my spine and into my throat, which is your creativity and your self-expression, comes from here. And then like your intuition, you know, at least that's how I see it, in the back of my head, or your cerebellum. And then I see the mind, the top energy center in the middle of your head, as like beautiful open mind. I see it as like a clear sky in there, and it goes, all the energy goes through there and through your head into the cosmos, and that's what connects you with everybody. But everyone and everything. And it takes time to unlock these energy centers and to change who we are. It's taken time to get this way. And through the practice, I don't know if I'm doing my best to walk through it right now a little bit, but it's like tightening your core and feeling like you're pushing on your internal organs, your abs, to push the energy from your root. And as you're doing that, as you're squeezing your core, you're inhaling as if drawing water from a straw. Pushing from the first three energy centers, pushing that energy up through your heart, through every center to the top of your head. And where you focus your attention is where you focus your energy. So if I'm focusing on my pain, on my back, that's where my energy is going. And that's only creating more pain. So if you focus, as you're pushing that energy up, you focus on your heart, you're watching it just with your awareness. You don't have to actually like physically do anything. But if I say focus your awareness on your heart, you're doing it without really thinking about it. So follow with your awareness the energy through your heart, through your throat, through the back of your head, through the middle of your head, to the top of your head, and you focus your energy on the top of your head. And you hold your breath there. So we'll do the whole thing. So squeezing the abs, pushing all the way from your root, through your abs, through your core, through your chest. You hold that breath at the top of your head. So your awareness is focused at the top of your head. As you're squeezing, hold for like 5 seconds and release. And that's how every one of, I think most of Joe Dispenza's meditations begin. And I highly suggest reading Becoming Supernatural so you understand how all of it works. It's not just some esoteric belief. He backs it up all with science, and like this stuff it's crazy how we change everything about our lives by the way we control our inner world. So releasing that energy, and as we live our lives, as we go through the day, focusing on our heart center and like breathing into our heart and living from that place instead of living from a place of lack and fear, living knowing that we are one. We're not separate. When we judge other people, we're judging ourselves. When we're afraid, when we're guilty, when we're shameful, that is coming from a place of lack and unworthiness. But we are worthy. Since the day we're born, we are worthy of love. And I'm realizing it doesn't take anything but our understanding of that for it to be true. We don't need anyone to confirm it. It just is. It's the truth. And if we live from that place, everything changes. The world around us changes. We dictate reality instead of it dictating us. And man, it is a beautiful way to live. It is a beautiful way to live. Man. Yeah, it's just crazy. Like think through my childhood, I felt caged in a way. It's dramatic, but emotionally, I couldn't really understand or express what was going on in my childhood, which is kind of a crazy situation. And I kind of just repressed emotions and feelings instead of expressing them. And it started to store that energy inside of me. I started to have these physical symptoms, and then they weren't as poignant or as bad as the back pain. So when I got to 21, and for the first time I graduated college, and for the first time I was on my own in the world, the stress made it an acute situation where all of that stored energy transferred just to my back, and instead of dealing with the fear and the guilt and the uncertainty, the brain created back pain to distract me from those emotions. And just as I felt like as a kid I couldn't really express what I was feeling or going through because I didn't really understand it, like on the surface everything looked really good, but underneath I was having a lot of trouble and just didn't understand what I was experiencing. But my nervous system was in a state of panic and fight or flight at all times. And the back pain, the same sort of thing happened. Like everything looked good on the surface, my life, because it was pretty incredible. But underneath, I was in this constant state of pain, and I couldn't express it to anybody because I felt guilty of being judged for being ungrateful for my life. I felt like people wouldn't understand because they can't really when you're in pain that you can't explain. And you try to tell people, but that kind of makes it sound like you haven't tried to heal it. Like, when you're in chronic pain, everybody has an opinion about what you should do. And they're like, oh, have you not tried? It's like, I've tried everything. Trust me. Like, there's no solution to this, it seems like. So I felt caged in the same way. It was a physical manifestation of what I dealt with in childhood, of not being able to express my situation. And it just baffles me that is what happened. That's what the brain does. It made me feel caged inside of my own body, not just on a emotional level anymore, but physically. Now I wasn't just caged inside, locked up, but I literally felt locked up in my own body. Like I couldn't move, I couldn't do things, I couldn't live. I'm like, how is this happening to me? 25, 24, 23, 26. I'm like in this locked up state of pain at all times that doesn't make any sense and nobody can figure out. And now it all makes sense. And it had to happen like this. And everything I went through was for some divine purpose, some reason. And it's just beyond my comprehension. And there's nobody's big thing about the childhood stuff is that like it was nobody's fault. There's nobody to blame. I was the only one experiencing difficulties. Everybody was and is. It was a simultaneous journey, and still is with my family. We're all figuring ourselves out. We're all trying to do the best that we can, and it wasn't easy by any means, but it's our job, our duty, and our purpose and our gift to be able to go back into our experience and look at it and process it. And that is the most important thing about this message, is taking time to process our past, our dreams, our ideas, our insights, our fears. Like, instead of just going with the routine, going with what others do and keeping up, have the courage to step back and take a look at where you've been, what has made you who you are. And that will give you so much more insight into where you want to go, into who you want to be, into what you can be. It is a fundamental shift in the way I see reality now and the way I see myself. It's unbelievable. And I know now that the back pain is just a small part of a much greater story that is my life. But now I finally understand how that story begins. I finally understand how the story begins. I'm processing my origin, where I come from. And it feels so good. It feels so good. And a big part of this has been therapy and just talking to him and just unloading and expressing what I'm going through. It's so helpful. Like for the first time, I'm just laying it all out there, and I've never felt that. And I hope to be that person now for others, where I'm just, tell me what's on your mind. Like, tell me what you're going through. And you don't need to say anything or even help, really. We just need to talk as people. We need to just, and that's processing. That's the processing that's been happening. I've had the greatest insights like at therapy, just talking this through. And that's why I'm doing these videos. Like, it's me processing everything that I'm experiencing. And yeah, I hope to be that for somebody else now. Yeah. Phoenix mentality. Reborn. It's all happening. All right. That's going to do it. Thank you so much for listening to this. Please like the video if it's helped you in any way, if it's inspired you, made you see your journey a bit differently. Take some time to journal, to process the day, maybe even your life. Cannot recommend it enough. Much love.